Hello and welcome to this best of 3 series between Czarix and Alrik in the Warhammer League. Be sure to like and subscribe for more games, and let's get into it. Today we have Tzeench versus Khorne on Tzeench Castle, which is a line map, which can be pretty difficult for armies like Tzeench to take over, because they usually don't play very wide. And today, let's see, let's see what this crazy build is from Czarix. What the hell is this? An Exalted Flamer, Aeson, a Burning Chariot, and the Herald of Tzeench, using immediately his Chromatic Tome to get more reserves. And he's just rocking Final Transmutation to counter an SE blob, basically, and Plague of Rust to counter any of the armor from the side of Khorne. And we have a Centaur that's basically trying to contest this objective right here. So when it comes to the Centaurs, they are absolutely great just because they have Strider and that they have Perfect Vigor. So they can actually go through terrain that's like this and have no problem. A random tip for you guys that are playing the game: if you're ever deploying on this specific map, deploy on the road, because if you just send your infantry through the water, they'll be slower. They'll be much slower to actually get to the objective. On the other side, we have a couple of monkeys, Blood Beasts of Khorne, which are great fighters, great at AP, which usually Tzeench kind of tries to go for a lot of armor. We have just a bunch of Marauders, a few Chaos Warriors, a Spawn. So these are just Chaos Warriors, Chaos Warriors, Chaos Warriors, Marauders, just a relatively wide army from the Khorne side. And we have Valkia with just her Demon Shield, not Sleipnir. So this is a pretty hard hard metal army here, and let's see what this match looks like. So out of the gate, Tzeench wants to capture all of the objectives. Usually the way Tzeench works is they're quite overcosted as a faction, at least in my opinion, and it's quite difficult for them to actually get on the objectives just because everything is so expensive, especially on like a bigger map like this, that you just can't get onto the objective and capture it in time. So it might be just very good for Khorne to play the points, but as soon as they see Aeson, they basically have nothing except these blood beasts to actually fight Aeson. Like, that's the only mass that they have, and there's pretty much nothing that they can do to stop it. And let's see the first volley from the chariot here. The first volley from the chariot does pretty good damage. The main thing why the chariot is so good is because of the little vortexes that stay on it. Same with the flamer here. So they just do the little vortexes that do the damage after the fact. So even if they have like a lot of magic resist in their entire roster, they can just get shot up at. And that's exactly what we're seeing here. Centaurs just moving near the actual army so that they don't get caught out by the blood beasts to the side of the objective. And actually, these horsemen seem to be already wavering in against like first two volleys from the horsemen, and just the flamers doing a lot of work. Ooh, that might be. Oh, thankfully that didn't. That flamer shot didn't do much friendly fire damage. And the burning chariot is usually the way that you do with the burning chariot is, I assume Czarix probably thought it was going to be a skull taker take. So what you do is you just get skull taker into a blob fight, surround him with something like centaurs, and then just park the burning chariot right above him and try to insta kill him after that. But we also have like a very cool shot here of the flamer going directly into the horseman. These shots have been amazing from Czarix so far. Very well played. And yeah, as we thought, he's holding off on the objectives, and he's capturing them. But this was kind of a mistake. As soon as Alrik saw that this was the main line fighting and all of the mass was on this side, and it was just the Centaur that was trying to capture here, he should have just rotated these two blood beasts immediately to the top side. They're like very late to the fight, and it's very much showing because these horsemen are getting cooked. Oh my god. Especially with the vortexes after that too. Damn. very nice shots from Czarix here. And he also summons the Chariot, the Followers of the Great Eagle, which is a new ROR chariot that goes that's like heavy in armor piercing and can just go through stuff. And so he's really going into the Warp Flame passive ability. And so is Aeson. Aeson also has this super cool Maelstrom of Change, which he can throw out usually onto horsemen to do like very big damage onto them. And it is a chain spread. Plus Aeson also has the Mortis engine, which as you can see is kind of draining, especially with the Warflame and the minus armor, is starting to drain down the entire fight. And here comes the first Overcast Final Transmutation, which hits 2 of the Blood Beasts and 2 of the Marauders here, which is, again, very good stuff from Czarix. But he does get his Followers of the Great Eagle kind of caught, but there is an intercept from the Centigores trying to help fight out this. The main problem for Czarix that could happen here, oh my god, great stuff from both the Burning Chariot and the Flamer. But the main problem for Czarix are these horsemen. These horsemen are throwing axes. They have very high AP. So they're basically the only thing that is going to be killing Aeson here and the Blood Beasts. And the only thing that can defend him is basically the Flamer doing pot shots like they did. Oh, here we go. Maelstrom of Change is a chain ability. So you cast it basically on 1 unit and it spreads through 5 and does a bunch of damage. As we see, Aeson is just going back. Because he knows that he can't lose Aeson or he's going to lose the main line fighting. And by that time, he's also just shooting at the horsemen. And as we see here, Valky is kind of getting cooked by this Burning Chariot, man. Like, the Burning Chariot has been chasing it around, and Valkia being so low and not even being able to capture it is crazy. But this thing does have fire whilst moving. So that's the reason why it can't be caught very easily. It has 85 speed. Valky is a bit faster, but it can follow and shoot and dip and dive and just not be affected by the Valkyrie chase. So I assume also that Czarix is kind of waiting for another final overcast, the final transmutation. And yeah, Aeson is kind of getting cooked here because there's just 3 horsemen. This guy's got routed, but there's still 2 horsemen here that are shooting into Aeson. If he goes into the negative, he starts crumbling, so that's pretty bad for him. Let's see if he does. He kind of stabilizes with 7 leadership, which is good. Followers of the Great Eagle, how did they do? They actually almost paid for themselves. They're 1,000, so that's pretty good. And we have the Chromatic Orb, the Chromatic Tome activated from the Herald. It just has a miscast chance, so it's pretty worth to actually use constantly. And this guy's getting really aggressive. He's just chasing the horsemen off, even though these guys are... Yeah, there he goes, to a different side. He thought, it seems that that Alrik thought it was going to be an overcast final transmutation, but it's going down right here on this huge blob. Oh my god. And even Valkia goes into it directly after the Demon Shield wears off. Oh no, she's running. This is such a huge play from Czarix, and the rest of the battlefield is looking pretty sparse, but with the army ability, the last-ditch effort from the Burning Chariot, literally their last ammo, they actually get a break on this entire blob. Wow, what a turnaround. And now there's nothing from the front line to contest, and Aeson's still alive with 700 HP. There's nothing to contest the Centigores just chasing down your horsemen throwing axes, and this chariot is being an actual chariot trying to hunt down Valkia and lead her off the battlefield here. She can stabilize at 0. If she's at 0, there is a chance that she actually stabilizes. So whenever there's a check, it needs to be under 0 for it to actually stop the coming back of the hero. So if you didn't know that. Aeson also stabilized with 700, now has regen of the shields. And it seems that Czarix is kind of, even though he's very much struggling on value, this isn't like telling the entire story. Why? Because there's at least 1,000 damage in gold value that is inside of the shields damage. So because all of the units from the Tzeench side have shields, they're basically doing more damage than there is worth of the actual unit. So this is kind of deceiving, and they're like very close in value. But Alrik is very much ahead when it comes to the points, and he might actually need to cycle out these horsemen right now, because what is his main way of killing stuff like this? So it's either melee infantry, or it's like stuff like blood beasts, or it's stuff like horsemen. And horsemen are very good support units, but when they're so beat up, they can just route for absolutely no reason if something just looks their way randomly, or if there's a thing that's shooting at them, basically. So these guys are very susceptible to just, if one of them routes, the entire three horsemen will route. They do have a lot of models still, though, so it might be prudent to not unsummon them yet and just keep them for capture weight, but it is very sketch. Like, there's just one move, one wrong move, or like another horseman going into them and just shooting at them, like right here. It will tank their leadership really, really bad with the missile fire and stuff. Also, a Forsaken from Tzeench came down here from Czarix and just fended off this Marauder, because the Marauder knows that they can't beat them, and the Blood Beasts will beat the brakes off of these guys. But there goes a Plague of Rust to make the fight actually much more even. But as you can see, these guys are suffering very heavily from the terrain stuff in just standing there. So they should definitely retreat. But here come the horsemen and the Centaurs. It is an actual proper brawl right here. Fleshhounds, again, minus 29 from the terrain is really impactful, especially when the Centaurs don't get that minus bonus, because they have the Strider and the Perfect Vigor stuff. So yeah, they just don't care about this stuff. Like Woodsman and Perfect Vigor, it just works so well with them. Another Final Transmutation. This one isn't overcasted, but is there just to swing the fight from the Blood Beasts and the other side. And these horsemen, as you say, they want to support this fight, but as soon as they get just one volley off from the other horsemen, and like a Forsaken is charging them or something, if one of these guys connects, these guys will all triple route. If the middle one, especially if they route. So it's -6, it routes. Now these guys don't have their flank secured anymore, and they're gonna be very close to routing, so there's not much that you can do here. Very nicely done from Czarix's side. And on the top side, he just cleans up with some Forsaken. There's nothing here that needs looking at. It's all the main line fighting down here. And again, even though he's like 3,000 value ahead technically, it really is not showing, right? Because probably 2,000 of that is inside of the shields, and the rest of it is inside of like Aeson just going back and forth. And we actually have a Tzeench victory here, which is super cool to see. I feel like this is a Tzeench favored matchup, but I have both won and lost quite a few games in this specific matchup from the Tzeench side, and I play something similar to this, just not the Burning Chariot. Burning Chariot actually did super well, hunting Valkia and cooking her. Aeson literally almost paid for himself. Horseman did great. Centaur's probably 2 lives, but still very good. Damn, this Flamer MVP'd out. He also probably got unsummoned at low HP, didn't we just miss that? Even though this guy got only like 1400 value with the overcasted Final Transmutations, they kind of swung the fights. Because usually when one thing starts routing, you just get a chain reaction throughout the ranks there. Forsaken didn't do great, but doesn't matter. Chariot actually paid for itself, which is nice. And the other horsemen, yeah, it was mainly around Aeson, the Burning Chariot, and the Centaurs. Flamer as well. Out Valkia. Valkia got 0 value? What? Not a single point of damage dealt from Valkia. Damn. That is how well the Chariot actually kited Valkia. We didn't even see that. She got 0 value. Oh my lord, that's a pathetic showing from Valkia. Even though you kind of need Valkia just to contest stuff like, let's say, the Chariot or Changebringers or stuff like that. But wow, that is pathetic from Valkyria's side. Hounds did well, as usual. Furies didn't do amazing, they just got cooked. And yeah, the Horsemen were the main carry pieces, technically, from the Khorne side, but they just couldn't do enough. There wasn't enough time to clap Aeson as fast, and actually the Chariot and the Flamer did so well against the Horsemen that it didn't end up mattering at all. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.